Hi guys, it's Tamina here again. I posted on Facebook last night a little rant about how I was watching some YouTube videos of people that have had similar struggles to me, and that included things that had triggered them off to have depression and anxiety, self-harm, suicide attempts, also a whole lot of other things. So eating disorders, and just not feeling like you belong in the world. So as of me right now, I'm a happy, strong woman. I'm confident in life right at the moment. I feel very blessed. What I'm about to talk about today is going to be about my past, so that doesn't define me of who I am now. So I'll get straight into it. So last night I was watching videos and it really hit home to me, and I thought, I've been holding off for a long time. There's a lot you guys do know about me, and there's a lot that you do not know about me. I'm not this, I wasn't this outgoing, I wasn't this person I am now. So I thought I'd do this video. So I will start it with when I think I was about 15. And when I was 15, I was at school one day, and I had a memory that triggered something off, and I went home from school and I sat in my walk-in closet and I just cried. And I remember my best friend at the time, Bree, she said to me, like, you know, why are you crying and stuff? And I said, I don't know why I'm crying. I just feel really frustrated and angry and upset. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I remember I used to get so angry with myself. I used to like tear out my skin and myself, because I was so, I couldn't express what was going on with me. So then I think my mum was aware of it, and this progressed into an eating disorder. So when I used to do dance, I would always, it was all about weight. Like, I was in the popular group at school, so it was like always us girls, like being in the clique, in the popular clique, you'd think that would be tight and stuff. Us girls weren't. We used to be so nasty to one another, and we'd swap girlfriends all the time, and you know, like, we'd always play like with friendships. So it was really sucked in. We were all in a dance like crew, so it was all about weight. And like, I have another one of my friends that lost substantial amount of weight like so quickly, and at the time, like, we didn't kind of notice, but now I look back on that, like, she dropped so much weight and was so skinny, and that was on diet pills. And I think that's how mine started. I got her to buy me these diet pills, and then I was watching, I got hold of the internet. I think we had the internet, and I was Googling stuff like anorexic girls, stuff like that. Even back in them days, there was stuff about the inspiration on the computer for anorexic girls. So I would watch that all the time, and I was eating and I would vomit. So like, I was bulimic. So, and then I'd starve myself. So like, in a matter of, it was probably a few months, I went from like 50 kilos down to like 43 kilos. And I was, which is not really healthy for the age that I was. And it wasn't really, it wasn't good. So I think I got to the point where one of my friends, I used to say to my friends, oh, do you want to come to the toilet with me at lunchtime so I can vomit? And they were like cool at first, like, yeah, I'll come up there with you. And then pardon me, it got to the point where they were like, no, we're not coming up there with you. And one of them told another one of my friends, and it kind of spread around the school. My mum found out, the teachers found out, so I had to be monitored every lunchtime and recess to so I didn't purge my food up. So I'd have to eat in front of a teacher, and I wasn't allowed to have recess or lunch for months. And that triggered off depression. I didn't have, it's hard to explain without going into it, because obviously family members watch my channel. My upbringing when I was very young wasn't ideal for children. I seen a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen. I was amongst things that I shouldn't have been amongst. So, but when I was out of that, the rest of my life has been really good. But it was just those initial years that triggered a lot of stuff off for me. And I couldn't really understand it. Being a little child, I didn't understand it, so a lot of it I blocked out. I think a lot of things that torment children, they block it out until they can are mature enough to understand it. And that's what happened to me. So I had all these memories and things come back to me, and it was like all of a sudden, and I had to deal with it at 15 years old. So I started self-harming. A friend of mine done it, and I thought at first, oh yeah, this might make me feel better. So I broke up a razor, and I started cutting my legs and stuff, and my mum seen it and went off her head. So she sent me to my auntie's away from where I was, so I could focus on me, and my auntie could help me out, because at that time my auntie was good with stuff like that. So I was sent there, and it just made me kind of worse. Then I went back to my mum's house, where she was helping me. She'd do everything to help me, like my mum does. And my brothers and sisters, like when I wanted to feel like I wanted to die, they were like, don't you care about us? Don't you love us? And I seriously, like, I totally get where people are like at the point where they don't want to live anymore, and they don't care about what others think, because when you're in that state of mind, you don't care. You don't care if someone's crying in front of you. You don't care what others think about, because you're only focused on what you're going through and what you're living with. So at that time, I didn't understand why they were all upset and crying, and they were like, stop doing this to yourself, Tamina. That kind of only made me angrier and more upset that I was doing this to my family. So after that, I got help. My mum took me to a place, and I had like lots of counselling, like every day I had counselling, and it really helped. And I had counselling for years. Like I just kept on going to counselling through the school, through mental health in Nowra, and they helped me with the self-harm and all the things that I was going through, and put me on to a psychologist, I think it is. And they helped me figure out what the triggers were that brought on this whole thing for me. So once I was over that, I struggled a lot. I was in a bad relationship where I was used because I'm such a caring person. I think this person thought that they could just dispose of me when they wanted. And, you know, like it started out as a normal relationship, and then he would, because he chose to do other things when I was younger and cheat on me and stuff, he would make out that I was like delusional or whatever. So then I kind of was like, went back down that same road of depression and stuff. I left that person and then started off with another relationship, which I had for 10 years. But over that amount of time, like, I've totally worked on myself, and I know that you never ever get rid of depression. You never get rid of stuff like that, but you learn how to deal with it. And I think it's such a small gap to cross over. Like, I know people, I've lived with people, I have friends that have suffered depression, and one day they can be totally fine, and then next they hit rock bottom, like that, and you don't know why. It happens to all of us, and I think it's such a crazy thing for people to say that people with depression or any kind of mental illness, like, are mentally not there, like they're cuckoo or whatever, because we all have emotions, and that's what it comes down to, is our emotions. Just because our emotions are more raw than others, and we feel things more than others, or we have anxiety or agoraphobia, or we have panic attacks, or we have thoughts or whatever, doesn't mean that we're any less of a person than anyone else. We're more sensitive of a person, and I'm not even joking. Every single person has some kind of mental illness or glitch that they have, whether it's them being fine and hitting lows like that, and they feel like their world's just turned upside down, or people that just have the odd anxiousness or anxiety. Like, no one's perfect. And that really pisses me off when people put a stigma on depression or anxiety, because it's not really a big thing, like, to point at people and say, oh, that person suffers with this or whatever. I don't think people should feel compassionate towards people that have it either, because that's feeling sorry for them. I think we need to encourage and help people and be on a level playing with them and discuss it openly without, like, being equal, like, just being equal with someone. One thing I did want to talk about was self-harm. So